or people who have been deemed to be superstars or celebrities, so to speak, many of them, they have security, right? They have security, they have bodyguards, they're living in gated communities and things of that nature because of the value that they hold. Now, ours is different because that's manufactured. For us, we're spiritual superstars before we completely embody that, right? So people can feel that. They don't see it. Like, hold on. I see this person, but I feel something else. Like they shouldn't be here. You'll be in a work environment. People know you shouldn't be there. Okay? You'll be in a family. That family know you should not be a part of that family. You will be in a neighborhood, living in a zip code. Your neighbors will know you're not supposed to be there. You will be in friend groups and everyone will know you are not supposed to be there. And that's the truth. Because in your soul, you are a person of royalty. Okay? The Bible even states that we are a peculiar people, that we are, of course, we know we are part of a royal priesthood. But many people would say, okay, well, that's allegory. Is it? Many people who come from nothing physically, who come from extreme pain, insurmountable amounts of trials and tribulations, these people will tell you they had the hardest life path until a major break that changed the entire trajectory of their lives. And even they knew that something was different and special about them. Regardless of the circumstances that they found themselves in, regardless of the perpetual betrayal, the perpetual pain, the trauma, the backstabbing, just all of the misfortunes of their lives, in their heart they knew, I'm supposed to be somewhere else. I'm supposed to be doing something else. I don't deserve to be down here, wherever that is for you. Your soul knows. However, there has to be alignment. God would not be God if he released something to you that you are not ready for. Okay? So while you're thinking that you are being punished and you're never going to get it, you are being refined and prepared for it. You see this throughout all ancient scriptures, right? That's why the Bible says patience is a virtue. I said this, and this is one of my favorite scriptures. The race is not given to the swift nor to the strong, but to those who endure to the end. This kind of woman must have spiritual endurance, spiritual discipline, operate according to the protocol of heaven, and know that if it is meant to be, it will be. If you think on your life, according to all of the facts, you should not physically be here. But yet and still, you're here listening to me at the sound of my voice. Everything and all of the evidence shows that all of the trials, the tribulations, and everything that has been thrown at you, physically, you should not be here. And mentally, you should be out of your mind. But yet and still, with every arrow, every fiery dart, thank you, never got that before. Every fiery dart, may you receive that back sevenfold, God bless you. Every fiery dart that was thrown at you, even if your physical being was uncomfortable, your spiritual being ate it. She ate that plate. She ate every bullet. She ate every arrow. She ate it. And she was regenerated by it. You have no idea how many people, they don't monitor you just because they're waiting on the downfall or just because they're waiting to see if you fail or if you succeed. There are some people watching you in pure amazement because physically you have defied the realm of logic. You don't have no idea how many people have watched your physical testimony and watched things that were supposed to devour you only propel you. And you're sitting here thinking like you're not where you want to be, but you have no idea. You are a walking inspiration. You are a walking miracle. You are a walking representation that there is a God. People who don't even believe in God know that there is something with you, has to be, because they saw your physical reality set out to destroy you beyond repair. But somehow, some way, you not only ate that and came and persevered over it. For many of you all, you don't look like you've been through anything. You don't look like you've been through nothing. As a matter of fact, some of you guys look even more beautiful than you did before major betrayal traumas, major spiritual warfare, witchcraft, black magic, all kinds of spiritual manipulative practices against you. And it all worked for you. So there are many people who either they were or they are in dark arts. And because of you, they watched you not meet them where they were. These people drag you into darkness and you still came out in alignment with the light. That's very powerful, right? To see the devil himself, what we call Satan, to see it and experience it in real time and still choose to work for the heavenly courts of the Most High God. To know what it's like to have your entire heart shattered and your soul fractured, and still and yet you are not jaded. Your heart is not black. Maybe it was at first. You like, oh no, you got me messed up. Ain't nobody. I ain't talking to nobody. I ain't giving back to nobody. I'm not all of that stuff. Initially, because of your conditioning and just your human nature, you were guarded. You tried to protect yourself in every way, right? That's what you did. You thought you were protecting yourself. So it's like anybody come on your path. Who sent you? Who sent you? Paranoia, right? However, in time, you realize that was what the darkness was designed to do, to strip you of your whimsical nature. It was your imagination, your creative intelligence, your femininity, your flirtiness, your charm, your feminine essence that gave you favor before they tried to throw a veil on top of you. When somebody does dark practices in the spirit, when they do create altars specifically for you, they attack your beauty. And people think it's just your physical appearance. No. They attack your feminine essence. All of the things that I said initially is what I'm saying now. We're just rounding it back off, right? So we're going all around to come back to the same point of reference. So it was all of that that made you quote unquote naive and gullible to the attack. But that same thing God is going to use, but with discernment, so that you can receive the favor and the spiritual inheritance of your lifetime, so that you can be the first one in your family, especially woman, the first woman in your family to create a new covenant and a new standard for your mitochondrial DNA and for your female bloodline. Many of them, they went to the dark side. That's where they went. Pain has a way of robbing people of their entire destiny. But you studied the darkness. You didn't succumb to it. You didn't let it consume you. You became curious. What is this? So when Satan presented himself in many different ways, in people that you once knew and people that you did not know, in every environment, it harassed you and tracked you down and tried to instill fear to make you either succumb to the dark side or make you continue to run and create a vagabond out of you as a powerful woman, so that you would be a perpetual nomad with no home. But keep in mind, you're housing yourself, right? You'll understand this on your journey, that you will never be abandoned. You will never be orphaned. You will never be without a place, stability, self-sufficiency, or independence when you're housing yourself. There will be nowhere to run when you stand up and you just accept the natural laws of life. But initially, many were fearful, guarded, jaded, paranoid, looking over your shoulders, nervous system dysregulated, hypervigilance, scared, confused. It was up until the point where you just step back and you use that as a teachable moment. Okay, God, what can we do with this? It becomes a game where the hunted stops and observes. The woman who is powerful stops being a victim to the circumstance that was manufactured because it's not real. The misfortune is not real. It's manufactured. So if I don't agree with the temporary discomfort of this presentation and I just study it and observe it, I might be able to either crack the code on it. This is how many people who are high divine consciousness look at it. Either I can crack the code on this or I can just accept it. Either or. But if you are a very powerful woman who understands the gift of detachment, I'm sure you surrendered and just accepted. Because we don't want to labor anymore in the physical. We labor enough in the spiritual. We don't have to labor in the physical. Things that are meant to be will come. Divine timing, they come to us. We don't have to request. We don't have to beg. It will come. If we petition the heavenly court because we work for the heavenly court, if it is due process, you will receive your fair judgment. So we don't have to beg or ask anybody for anything. God will provide as he's always done, even in your confusion. So when you step back and just say, okay, it is what it is. Do what you're going to do. Do your thing. Right? God moved you around, got you to safety. And there's a thing called, this is for my people who come from the occult, right? If you came out of the occult, I'm sure this is for people to deal with the new age or whatever. Even if you're still in it, I pray that your soul awakens to a higher understanding that Christ consciousness is sufficient enough. Just being honest, it's a frequency. However, if you came out of the occult seeking for higher knowledge and went back to the ancients to try to get some information, because that's where many women went, okay? And I know I'm talking to a lot of you gifted women, the women who are into the tarot, a lot of my beautiful spiritual women, a lot of people who are Christian based, they just write you off, right? Oh, they just new age. I don't do that to my sisters. I don't do that. Many of you women who are extremely spiritual, who do not want to be boxed in, right? You don't want to have borders on you. You went to tarot or wherever you went to try to seek understanding of the plight that you faced as a human being in this life because you didn't deserve, right? That's what we say. Oh, I don't deserve that. So many women found themselves in those spaces trying to seek understanding. But it only creates a web in your life. That is a familiar trap. Because unfortunately, many women in your family also went to other practices too, trying to seek relief. It's a shortcut to understanding. We're not here to crack the code. We're here to accept what is. Acceptance will keep you from being tired as a woman. Acceptance and surrendering will keep you from burnout as a gifted woman. We accept and we move accordingly. You can only control what you can control. And whatever is in your control, that is what God will give to you. And he does not give you big loads as a gifted woman. Just enough. Because you are a woman of expansion. He does not have to give you major loads of stuff to do. You being you is just enough. And if you steward her properly and you yield your power properly, your influence and your impact, your beauty properly, you will bait and draw people into the natural, divine, higher holiness of life. And most of us, we're seed planters and atmosphere shifters. We go into places, we meet people, and most of those people are at a cross path. They're at a crossroad with their faith. Many of these people have given up on life. They've given up on people. But what God will do to you, he will strip you of all that guardedness, all of that anger, all of that resentment. My mama didn't, my daddy didn't, my family, these men, da 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 da. Once you are delivered and set free from all of that victimhood and you understand that your favor is when you surrender and you release. I remember God telling me maybe about a year or two ago that he was going to restore my femininity, my essence, because I was a very bubbly person before betrayal trauma tried to rob me of my whimsical and my imaginative nature. I was childlike. Everywhere I went, hey, how you doing? Okay. You know what I mean? However, the only thing that I wasn't operating in was my discernment. And so after the betrayal broke my heart and crushed my soul, I realized like I kind of got hardened. I kind of got hardened a little bit, okay? But I also realized that in that, I could not receive. My heart space was blocked. I remember like I could not receive what I desired while I was guarded because my human being was trying to protect herself. But I realized that in time, right? So God had to continue to consistently provide safety for me, right? So when you are a woman, you have, like when you are a very powerful, impactful woman, you have groups of men and women alike. It's never just women, it's men and women. And you are being hunted, you know? And your soul is being hunted. People are after your identity. They're after your name, your reputation. They're after everything. And their goal is to harden you and make you aggressive. They want you to be a fighter in the physical. They want you to do something about it, right? So they group up. So because they believe that grouping up, it would create an intimidation factor against your nature because you're a woman. So you would feel more vulnerable and powerless if they grouped up. So however, as a woman who is spiritually gifted and tapped into the divine, the original and only plug of life, you know that you don't have to fight your own battles. We fight in spirit. We don't fight in physical. I mean, we can if we were just like, you know what I mean? Come on now, it's a nuance. But most of our fight is spiritual. It's never physical. We don't have to lift a finger. And as a matter of fact, the more unbothered you are by the devices of darkness, the more protected you are in spirit. Because once you put in a petition, the scriptures say that a curse without cause will not stand, or any ill wishes without cause will be driven away. So if I am in right standing and I live a consecrated life that is in divine alignment with the Most High God, if I put in a petition, it's over. Because there is a such thing as heavenly protocol, and that is the natural laws of life. Because we tethered in two worlds. We're in the physical and the spiritual. And as women, highly gifted women, our overall goal is to maintain the balance between two realms. Once you understand that, you will never lift a finger again. And as a matter of fact, you will pity the fool. Okay? You will pity the fool, in the words of Mr. T, who dare to try to challenge your nature. Because the very people who hate you are the people that admire you the most. As a matter of fact, they believe in you more than you believe in you. They know that you are destined for greatness, which is why there is a consistent effort to try to undermine, sabotage, and destroy you. Nobody comes after a nobody. Nobody puts forth their entire life. There are some women who come from bloodlines where the women have dedicated their lives to bewitching you. Your mothers have bewitched you. Aunts have bewitched you. Female cousins have bewitched you. Grandmothers have bewitched you. They have made it their mission to bewitch your entire path. However, the things that they fear you having the most are the things that you will receive anyway, because it is the divine laws of life based on God. No one can play God but God. It does not matter if you put on costumes and pretend and go dibble and dabble in whatever you want. What is meant to be will be. If it is destined, no amount of spiritual or energetic manipulation is going to stop the hands of time. It will come to pass. No amount of bewitching will stop that. And once you release these people in mind, in spirit, and in heart, you will realize that everything they didn't want you to have, you will have it anyway. Because God just wanted you to get your hands off of your life. He wanted you to just take your hands off the wheel of your life. He has already willed things into being on your behalf for your divine purpose. That is so. He just needed you to stop trying to hold on to something that was never destined to be and just let him work. Allow him to work for you. And once you stop that, trying to move the pieces, because gifted women are extremely intelligent. Gifted women are geniuses, right? So we're always working the mind. We can get ourselves into something and we can get ourselves out of stuff, right? You're so used to being able to use your intelligence to get you out of things and create solutions for you. Sometimes God will allow you to be in such a conundrum, in such a like chaotic place to where it's above your intelligence. There's nothing that you can do. It's not nobody you can talk to. It's nothing. Like you will have no moves on the board to be able to beat this game. And you moved over there. You went to a 90-degree angle over there, right? Because life is about geometry. It's all about math. It's all about angles. It's all about energy. You go over here. Let me get to this angle. Oh, let me look at it at that angle. And you try to rationalize it and shift at every perspective. But yet and still, nothing doesn't really work out the way that you want it. And you're thinking that, oh my God, no matter what I want, no matter how I desire, no matter how much I pray, it ain't going to happen. Yeah, because you won't take your hands off of it. You keep trying to act like you can control that which you cannot control. You were chosen. Your soul has been marked. There's something far much more powerful than you, ma'am, that has its hand on you, which is why we don't kick our feet up here and just, have a good time. We have been gifted with responsibility than the average woman. And that's just the truth. It doesn't mean that we're so much more special. It just means that we've been chosen for more responsibility. Right? Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And where there's more responsibility, God has to be able to trust you by not being so emotional. And when he released certain levels of favor and oil to you, it has to be delegated properly because you are going to be so blessed that you will be a blessing to others. And you cannot be competitive in nature as a gifted woman. You cannot be jaded as a gifted woman. You cannot be revengeful and vengeful as a gifted woman. Oh yeah, when I get to where I'm supposed to be, I'm a S on my haters. Yeah, I'm gonna show them I ain't nothing to play with. God don't play about me. That's not why God spared us. That's not why he gave us grace and mercy and pulled us out of dark places. We are a representation of his power and his might, and we are designed to help people navigate, right? By just showing that we are a representation of Christ embodied. That's the whole purpose. Love embodied. That even though people have tried to break me, I still work with people. Even though my heart has been fractured and my heart was broken, I still believe in love. Even though my soul was crushed and it was fractured, I still believe in spirituality. I still believe that there is a God. Even though I've seen the darkest depths of this life, I still know that the light is way much more powerful than the dark can ever even conceive itself to be. That's the goal. That was the purpose of all of this. I'm happy that it is speaking to you. Glory be to God. That's the goal. It was all designed to bring you back to source, back to creation, back to life. You went through all of that pain to bring you back to healing, back to balance. You went through all of that chaos to bring you back to harmony. You went through all of that breaking and hardening to make you soft again. But now you are her, the highest version of yourself. He introduced you to yourself. It is in that highest version of her as a gifted woman that is going to unlock the inheritance that you have been praying year after year for, crying for, longing for, desiring for. It came with self-love. It came with release and surrender. It came with knowing your worth. It came with being graceful and elegant. Because how many of you didn't bust somebody upside their head that tried you? All of these people that crossed you. You have facts and evidence that can destroy these people their entire world and operation. And you still didn't reveal it, even though you know you didn't. You can crush them with the truth, whereas they tried to crush you with lies. But you still have mercy on them because you are a woman of diplomacy. You are a diplomatic woman. You are a leader. You are impactful. You are powerful. You are an authoritative figure, but you lead with grace. You can see that throughout the Bible. You had the Queen of Sheba. You had the Queen Candaces. Candaces is a title. You had the Queen Candaces, which are royals of Ethiopia or places like Cush and all of these ancient places. But you had royal women in ancient time, in real life. These were not fictitious people. These women, even though they were royal women, they were what we would classify as women of authority, they still led as women, the embodiment of women. So at will, at certain times, they will use their charm, they will use their intelligence, they will use their intuitive nature. Different times call for different things. And for you, once you step back and you realize all of the people that betrayed you and crossed you, you realize it wasn't people, it was a spirit. And you will see that spirit in many different places that you go. You don't have to go to war in the physical with these things anymore. And as a matter of fact, you saw Satan himself in the most evil type of schemes that people can conjure up. You've experienced it and you stood 10 toes down and you're still here to talk about it. Not only that, you've been able to navigate through divine intelligence without losing your physical freedom and going to prison, right? Because that's what it's designed to do. And you have released a lot of that hardness and aggression, right? Because it has a tendency to strip you of all of your female essence, where now you rah like, hey, no, you better not play with me, but nobody mess with me because I don't play. But that's not your nature. Most gifted women, that is not our nature. Okay, most gifted women, we like nice things, pretty things, colorful things. Okay, we like different shapes and geometrical shapes and stuff. We like to do a lot of artistic expression. Okay, we're painters, we're musically talented, we're writers. We're women that just want to go on the beach, have a picnic to ourselves. We like flowers. We like all of the girly things, most of us. Now, you do have a segment of women who appear to be aggressive on the surface, but they're softies at heart. I've met some of these women. Okay, they're masculine presenting, but they are very graceful women. They're very classy, very sophisticated, but they're masculine presenting, right? In their core, they're still open to receive the favors of life. And that's all God wanted you to do. He wanted you to activate the discernment, no longer be in chronic doubt like you were before. Love and accept yourself at every level. Okay, every level, whether it was the conditioned self, because that person got you to where you are now. If it had not been for her, you wouldn't even be here. So grant her grace and forgive her for what she did not know. You didn't know what you didn't know, but now you do. So we thank her for getting us to this place. And we don't shun her and we don't feel ashamed or guilty because of her. But we thank her for her services, and then we move on and proceed forward and graduate to a higher degree and a higher version of who we are.